All right, this is part 3 of solving one-step equations. Today we're shifting gears and we're moving from adding and subtracting to multiplying and dividing. So I wrote down the key ideas. I want to review them with you first before we do our examples today. The first idea is that when we are working through trying to solve equations, our main goal is the same. We're trying to find the identity of the variable. Or in other words, what number could take the place of the letter so that the equation would be true? What number could take the place of the letter so that the left-hand side would be equal to the right-hand side? And the first two ideas are kind of similar to what we did with adding and subtracting, except they involve multiplying and dividing. If you want to undo multiplication, then you have to divide. So if a variable is attached to a number through multiplication, then you have to divide. So what I mean by that is if you see something like 2x, this is multiplied by 2, so that will tell you that you have to divide somewhere in there. You have to divide by 2. And similarly, likewise, to undo division, you multiply. So if you see division in a question, let's say it's x divided by 5, x divided by 5, then you would have to multiply both sides of the equation by 5. Which leads me to the third main idea, the third main point. Whatever you do to the left-hand side, you have to do to the right-hand side in order to keep this an actual equation. So in order to keep both sides equal, make sure that you use the same operation with the same number on the left-hand side and the right-hand side. And then the last one is to make sure you remember your integer rules. So when we're adding when we're multiplying or dividing, make sure you remember that like signs will give you positive integers when you multiply them. Unlike signs will give you negative integers when you multiply them. And the same is true for division, because from here on out, kids, integers will never, ever leave your life. Welcome to the world of rational numbers. Anyways, let's get started here. Remember, mushed means multiply. Mushed means multiply. So when you have a value mushed against a variable, this means 4 times a number is equal to 32. So to solve this, it does indeed tell us to divide both sides by 4. Since this is multiply, we're going to divide left-hand side and right-hand side by 4. So we're going to show that division and make it look like fractionese. And the reason this works is because 4 divided by 4 is 1. So 4 divided by 4 is 1, and we're left with 1x. And we do need to make sure that we brush up on our multiplication facts, our times tables, in order to help us with these. 32 divided by 4 is 8. 32 divided by 4 is 8, and there's our solution. So remember, the instruction for this type of question would be solve. Okay, solve. Let's move on to the second one. So here we have negative 3a is 15. Negative 3a is 15. So negative 3 is a number. So we need to make sure that we divide both sides by not just 3, but negative 3. Negative 3. So if we divide negative 3 by 3, that will create a. And here we need to divide by negative 3. Now this is where point 4 comes in. Apply your integer rules as you go along. Negative divided by negative is just positive a. Positive divided by negative is going to be a negative, and 15 divided by 3 is 5. So a is equal to negative 5. That would be an excellent one for us to verify. We could go back and we could check, okay, if a is negative 5, negative 3 times negative 5, does that equal 15? And then you would see that, yes, it does. We're not going to write the verification out today, but I'm just going to explain it to you like that. Now this one here is a division question. So when you see this symbol here, this looks like a fraction. It also means divide. in the world of rational numbers, what that tells us is we are comparing something to something else. So the variable is kind of like the numerator. The denominator has this integer in it, and it's equal to -7. So here we need to do the opposite to separate x from 5. We're gonna, we C divide, which means we need to multiply both sides by +5. So if we were to do that, it would look a little bit like a fraction. And I'm going to mush these together in brackets. So -7 times 5, because they're mushed together. You can write the multiplication symbol if you want. So here, these would cancel out. And we're going to have x is equal to -35. And there again, our integer rules come into play. Negative multiplied by a positive is a negative, and 7 times 5 is 35. So there's the work you need for today. I think there's something like approximately 40 questions to do. Just the only other thing I want you to remember is that there's several different ways to show multiplication. Don't forget, if we have something like this, n times 15 in a worksheet, that could also be written like 15n algebraically, okay? They both mean the same thing. And since we're on the topic, we can reverse the order. So 15 times n, 15n, or n times 15, they all mean the same thing. So if you see multiplication written in a few different ways, don't let that throw you off. If you saw this, your next move would be to divide both sides by 15 to separate the variable from the values, from the numbers. Okay, so I hope you have fun with that. Good luck with your work, and have a good day.